And
they should step. Yes. Yeah. Obi. Yeah, you see, a man your name, one shot near the Ubi who so body be near the big Jerry Munina. Do you understand? Yeah. We went into this election with a certain level of integrity. Ghanaians felt, say the BB say and say, you bet me I resu ye. Wow. And what hurts a bit, Joy, interviews near there. Yes. There's this guy called Kofi Asare, who is I think
CSO.
Yes. I listened to him and just I was gritting my teeth like that. Say, there's a system that is working. Yes, to a point where it's almost flawless. Then we decide to sidestep that one and go for a new one. And that new one is rather giving us teething problems that this other software had solved. I don't see anything. I don't see anything. You see, where me wo kukromoti bakupe. And you can't boom. Somebody voted 5 times. Who I voted 5 times and now 2 times. You know, come forward. Now because of me, I voted twice. You know, I deserve whatever position that I've been given better than any other person. Yet the position as a trust on behalf of all of us. So, you know, what is going on in this kind of, you know, it's embarrassing to us. Not only the president. We are part of the embarrassment. You think the president is happy with what is happening? No. You think the president is happy when he has promised Ghanaians a reset? Nema called departure from some of these things. Now, and no more now. Just say, what is this? You go to the NAT office. Why it's a market. And funny the things that belong to the past. Emba call Burma school. The science of work agric. Things that had been dealt with the past a year. Winning it off teething little challenges. Then you walk us back to it, and then what is this apology? Say we will look into it and all of those things. Please, it's not cool. It's not cool. Me party. I think say whatever they claim they want to do, they must do it real quick, and let's get the corporates and not just the corporates, and let's not also somebody must bear the brunt. Do you understand? If we sit for all these things to happen under our nostrils, we can't just come back and say they share. Let it go. No. Sabi, baby, I penny for So we should
but there are 2 issues, Honorable Inti. Number 1, challenges with computer placement system. And number 2, or more in the midst of the chaos, or more fun with the enrich or more.
Placement system, if it ain't broken,
don't fix it.
You don't fix it. And I'm a boy.
Yes.
Right. And we are using a system. We were using a system.
Tried,
tested, and they've been able to, according to the people around the educational way, they had weaned it off. Eliminated the challenger. Our new as our old way negligible. Do you understand? No. But me fool said, the truth be told, I don't think all these you have been taken care of, so that you rather concentrate on area kakrabina, ebia floss be one. Now that those are now showing up all over again. For me, that is where the problem is. Whose idea is that? Do you understand? Whose idea is that? And please, we face some of these flags from people. Do you understand? What the one I can't. I did crowd yet. I said, mobile. You don't even know what to say. So why do baby? Unim say problem you don't need to change everything.
Change the whole thing. Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
I'm more developing would go back to them. Now, these are the flaws. Updates. One of the. But you don't discard it all. Start afresh, and then also the more teething problems that you have to deal with. So that is one problem that has to be looked at. Then
the frequent arrests of opposition figures, journalists, and ordinary citizens on flimsy and politically motivated
according to the Bina Gigis Kankra, they still couldn't do it. Media, I'm praying, say, they should step up.
Bold and
they should step up.
Mention names.
Yes. Obi. You see, a man yone one shot near the Ubi who so body be near the big Jerry Munina. Do you understand? We went into this election with a certain level of integrity. Ghanaians felt say the BB share and say you bet me I resu ye. And what hurts a bit Joy interviews near there. There's this guy called Kofi Asare who is I think
CSO. Yes.
I listened to him and just I was gritting my teeth like that. Say, there's a system that is working. Yes, to a point where it's almost flawless. Then we decide to sidestep that one and go for a new one. And that new one is rather giving us teething problems that this other software had solved. I don't see a day. You see, where me wo kukrumuti bakupe. And you can't boom. Somebody voted 5 times. Who I voted 5 times and now 2 times, come forward. Now because of me, I voted twice. I deserve whatever position that I've been given better than any other person. Yet the position as a trust on behalf of all of us. So, what is going on in this kind of, it's embarrassing to us. Not only the president. We are part of the embarrassment. You think the president is happy with what is happening? No. You think the president is happy when he has promised Ghanaians a reset? Nehemiah called departure from some of these things. Now, and no more. Just say, what is this? You go to the NAT office. It's a market. And funny the things that belong to the past. Embark call Bema school. The science of work called agric. Things that had been dealt with the past a year. Winning it off teething little challenges. Then you walk us back to it, and then what is this apology? Who say we will look into it and all of those things. Please, it's not cool. It's not cool. Me party. I think say whatever they claim they want to do, they must do it real quick, and let's get the corporates and do, and not just the corporates, and let's not also somebody must bear the brunt. Do you understand? If we sit for all these things to happen under our nostrils, we can't just come back and say they share. Let it go. No. Sabi, baby, I am paying for Anambra. So we should
but there are 2 issues, Honorable Nti. Number 1, challenges with computer placement system. And number 2, or more in the midst of the chaos, or more far more the enrich or more.
Placement system, if it ain't broken,
don't fix it.
You don't fix it.
Yes.
Right. And we are using a system. We were using a system.
Tried,
tested, and they've been able to, according to the people around the educational way, they had weaned it off those little issues. Supposed to, we are now called the wrong place, and so I'm eliminating the challenger. I new.
Another round of applause for our chairman. So the significance of Bafo Akoto are many, but one of them has to do with the famous court case in the 1960s. The Parliament of Ghana had passed the Preventive Detention Act. They call it the PDA. And there was an act passed by the parliament. Never mind, it was a lopsided parliament at the time, but it was still the Parliament of Ghana. And they passed a law to allow the president and the Minister for Interior to arrest people on suspicion that they may be planning to conduct activities that will destabilize the government. It was fairly abused, that PDA law, as sometimes happens to draconian laws like that. And Baffour became a victim because he was a fierce opponent of the government. And Baffour's opposition to the government was purely based on its human rights record. He believed that Ghanaians must have the rights to develop in freedom. And so he was a fierce opponent to the government's policies that brought Ghana to a draconian state. He was arrested. And the Attorney General of the day, an Irishman called Geoffrey Bayne, successfully argued before the Supreme Court that the Parliament was sovereign and that the Parliament has passed a law and no other law can change that. Dr. Danquah strenuously argued before the court that the Parliament of Ghana is not like the Parliament of the United Kingdom, where the Irish lawyer was coming from, that the United Kingdom did not have a written constitution. However, that Ghana had a written constitution. Dr. Danquah's problem, though, was that he was unable to find in the written constitution a clear human rights charter. So he cleverly went to the oath of the president, which was attached to the constitution, and said that in the president's oath, he had... Another round of applause for our chairman. So the significance of Baffour Akoto are many, but one of them has to do with the famous court case in the 1960s. The Parliament of Ghana had passed the Preventive Detention Act. They call it a PDA. And there was an act passed by the Parliament. Never mind, it was a lopsided parliament at the time, but it was still the Parliament of Ghana. And they passed a law to allow the president and the Minister for Interior to arrest people on suspicion that they may be planning to conduct activities that will destabilize the government. It was fairly abused, that PDA law, as sometimes happens to draconian laws like that. And Baffour became a victim because he was a fierce opponent of the government. And Baffour's opposition to the government was purely based on its human rights record. He believed that Ghanaians must have the rights to develop in freedom. And so he was a fierce opponent to the government's policies that brought Ghana to a draconian state. He was arrested. And the Attorney General of the day, an Irishman called Geoffrey Bayne, successfully argued before the Supreme Court that the Parliament was sovereign and that the Parliament has passed a law and no other law can change that. Dr. Danquah strenuously argued before the court that the Parliament of Ghana is not like the Parliament of the United Kingdom, where the Irish lawyer was coming from, that the United Kingdom did not have a written constitution. However, that Ghana had a written constitution. Dr. Danquah's problem, though, was that he was unable to find in the written constitution a clear human rights charter. So he cleverly went to the oath of the president, which was attached to the constitution, and said that in the president's oath, he had promised to do right to all manner of persons, which is the same oath that President Kufuor took, to do right to all manner of persons. The court held that the president's oath is just words, and that Dr. Danquah cannot rely on it to say that PDA was violating aspects of the Constitution. And so the Attorney General won the day, and Baffour remained in prison, and Dr. Danquah lost. It was Danquah's arguments and the thinking of the day that then informed the clear Human Rights Charter in 1969 Constitution, 1979 Constitution, and today we have a clear Human Rights Charter in the 1992 Constitution. So, Ochiame, we we still owe him a lot. I'm going to say two stories. And you know, for us journalists, we always get into trouble with these stories, but I will get into trouble, I'm sorry. Two stories, one from 1955 and one from 3 days ago. Honorable Minister, I came to your office 3 days ago, isn't it? Yeah, 3 days ago, yeah. So in 1955, the National Liberation Movement had just been formed. And the first person out of whom I heard this name, B.F. Kusi, was actually President Kufuor. And President Kufuor was telling me the story that he's quite sad that our young generation, they don't meet politicians like B.F. Kusi. I don't know him, I never saw him. But President Kufuor seemed to be very enamored about this B.F. Kusi guy. He's talked about him quite a bit. So when I read Dennis Austin's book, where he had detailed the by-election in 1955, now this was very dramatic. The CPP was in control, and the chairman talked about how CPP got some support in Ashanti with key people like Victor Usu and others. And again, it was Balfour that brought them back out of that. But a by-election had occurred in Achumangwa Bieja, the same constituency that President Kufuor later represented, because Mr. Grant, the CPP candidate, had died, unfortunately, in a plane crash. NLM has just been formed. Balfour had a challenge. He needed to demonstrate that LLM was a formidable force in Ashanti. If you read the account of Austin, there was a lot of communication between Kojobo, Tio Kroboduse, and Nkrumah in terms of how that by-election should be managed. President Nkrumah recognized the election as an important watershed in terms of valuing the new National Liberation Movement. Balfour marshaled forces there. In fact, at some point, Kroboduse wrote to Nkrumah that he shouldn't come because it was not safe for him to be there. That the people of Achumangwa Bieja were opening up vehicles that arrived in the town, ostensibly for the campaign, and asking where is Nkrumah to harm him, so that Nkrumah should not attend, but they were going to manage and win. In the end, Balfour won. B.F. Kusi was elected as in the by-election. And so, a round of applause for him. So when you think of this story, and you know that Ochiame is a warrior, so then that story 3 days ago, I showed up in the Honorable's office, as I do regularly, and I said, Honorable, the people are talking about you. He said, Paul, I'm going to win. I said, you're going to win what? He said, I'll win the contest. I said, well, I heard some people say that, and then he laughed. I said, yes, I'm not spoiling. So I heard him say all that, and he's a chameba, so you got to take him a bit serious. But when I came here today, Dr. Friye says he's going to win, and he's sitting by Alanche Martin. Party chairman, you didn't hear that. You didn't hear that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to bring back Kwame Adinkra to bring in the party chairman. Thank you very much.
Now, Doc, next year.
Yeah. Gertrude, yes. I think that she's doing the right thing, as lawyer said, going to courts, and so that we can establish the basis of these things. Yeah. For lay minds, if you look at the reading of Article 146, it is obvious that Article 1463 recommended a certain process for the removal of a justice of the Supreme Court, and Article 1466 recommended a process for the removal of a Chief Justice. If the constitutional framers intended us to read those clauses together, perhaps they would have said so. What she's challenging now is that the process that undertook was a process that was towards removing her as Chief Justice of the Republic. That there's a separate process towards removing her as a Justice of the Supreme Court. But the dismissal warrant from the President suggests that she's been removed from both. That during the process of the process in the committee, she knew at all material times, and her lawyers knew, that the process was towards removing her as a Supreme Court judge. She perhaps was not told. And in fact, when the publication was made, there were legal experts who indicated that has the Chief Justice been removed both as Chief Justice and also as Justice of the Supreme Court, and then the government, in response to that, published the warrant, which was signed by Callistus Mahama, I believe, and which was very clear that she had been removed from both. So if you have two constitutional articles referencing a removal process for one and the other, and a person goes through one of these processes and is told that it's been removed from both, and she's going to the court to test it. My only concern is I'm wondering why she didn't go straight to the Supreme Court, because it appears that she's raising matters of significant constitutional interpretation. But I'm guessing that she knows what she's doing, and so the High Court will look at it. But I'm hoping that the Supreme Court can have the opportunity to look at it so that we can settle it once and for all. If the Supreme Court comes and says that when a process undertakes under Article 1466 to remove an individual as a Chief Justice, we should understand that process to be removing that person as a justice of the Supreme Court as well. Then that will be the settled law. But until then, I'm sure that we will wait to see what happens. She has other complaints about the processes itself, about human rights issues. She's tried it once. The courts have said that it's an Article 146 process and they cannot look at it, etc., which disappointed some people. But let's see how she takes this on. And she also still has one application pending at the ECOWAS court, I believe, final determination on whether the government of Ghana will owe her money or not. The Attorney General has already indicated at the bar conference that the government of Ghana's jurisprudence is not to be guided by all of these foreign entities who write and talk. But we don't know, in terms of the protocols between the ECOWAS countries, the value of an ECOWAS court's decision. Is an ECOWAS court understood to be higher than all the national courts, and the Federal Supreme Court of Nigeria, the Ghana Supreme Court, the Togo Constitutional Court, Cote d'Ivoire Constitutional Court? Should we understand the ECOWAS court to have a jurisdiction higher than these? I'm not sure what the protocol says and why she applied to it. Or is the ECOWAS court there to just make pronouncements without having the power to enforce these pronouncements? I'm not sure. So it's an area that we should look at. But the sentiments about the removal of the Chief Justice on those matters, I think the jury is still out there. And perhaps it has become a political question. It's no longer a legal question. It's a political question.
She argues that the responses that she submitted to the president in respect of the 3 petitions were in respect of allegations for her removal as Chief Justice and not as Justice of the Supreme Court. Now I quote, "The purported prima facie determination, a copy of which has to date not been provided to me." She's still expecting the basis for the establishment of the prima facie case to be given.
But if it's true, she doesn't have that, then that's a big problem.
Yes, was in relation to the petitions for my removal as Chief Justice and not as Justice of the And the said Justice Tokono further argues that the committee was set up as stipulated under Article 1466 of the Constitution to consider whether or not to recommend her for removal as Chief Justice, but not as Justice of the Supreme Court. But Paul, have you heard those who have also said that this matter is an open and shut matter? It's decided, it's clear. And he, in fact, before you came, Hamza mentions, whilst you were here off air, Hamza, for instance, mentions the J2 matter. There's also the Justice Vega matter, Ghana Bar Association versus the Attorney General, must have been something 1995 thereabout, where that matter, in fact, I can even read exactly what the Justice Vega at the time said. I'm sure you've seen that.
No, what is the Vega case?
Okay, so let me read what
please read it.
It's the 1994-1996. It says Ghana Bar Association versus Attorney General. I don't recall exactly what the matter was, but this is what it says. Without mincing words, the ultimate result this action is intended to achieve for the plaintiff is the removal of the second defendant as Chief Justice of Ghana, and as a fallout, a judge of the Supreme Court. The substratum of the plaintiff's case, as we have stated earlier, is that the second defendant is not a man of high moral character and proven integrity to be the Chief Justice. Ipso facto, a judge of the Supreme Court, since the qualifications are admittedly the same. 4, if the second defendant is disqualified from occupying the post of Chief Justice on grounds of lack of integrity, I do not see how he can continue to be a judge of the Supreme Court. There's also one that someone has actually sent, which has to do with Justice Amadou Tango. That's more recent. When Justice Tokono filed for some injunction applications when she felt that something wasn't being done rightly. Now, per Tanko Amadou's statement on this matter, where he says that and this was on the 28th May 2025, where it says the above, and there's a portion which I'm going to quote. The above observations provoked by paragraph 12 of the applicant's affidavit aside, I need hardly say that I arrived at the conclusion that this application must fail without relish, mindful of the fact that the applicant, Honorable Lady Chief Justice of the Republic, is going through a process that may define her career on the bench as Chief Justice and as a judge, one way or the other. So I'm saying that justices or judges have made some pronouncement on this matter as to whether the matter is consolidated, whether it is dual, or one does not affect the other. Do you get the point I'm making?
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that changes your position on this matter, or you still think that it will be a very useful exercise, if for nothing at all, for it will improve our legal jurisprudence.
It will be a very useful exercise because in all of those cases, yes, I've heard what you said and I heard what lawyers said, and it's true. But we have to determine the value of these statements in the context of the judgment, because judgments are divided into two, sometimes into three. The most important part of the judgment is what the lawyers call the ratio. The ratio is the law. That is the case law. Now, the judge goes on to say other things when he's writing the judgment. So those other things that he says are categorized as obiter dictum. Obiter dictum is not the law. It is the ratio that is the law. But the judge is always allowed to pour out obiter to guide us in the future and to get lawyers to pick it up and do some more research on it, etc., etc. My view of the matter is that these things that you have read in both Ejechum and this Kpegah one, they appear to me as the obiter. They don't appear to me as the ratio. In the case of the Dateba ruling, for instance, the ratio was clear. The matter that was before the court and the question put before the Supreme Court was whether or not, in the case of the Chief Justice's removal, a purported petition so to do, who does the prima facie? Because it wasn't obvious. And so the court came in to fill the gap. I think that
Oh, it's always a pleasure to come to you. This is Good Evening Ghana. Thank you very much for your time. And we are still, of course, in mourning. Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings passed last week. We are awaiting the statement from government regarding her burial. Tonight, we have quite a bit for you. There's disturbing news about Galamsey. You heard that. The police have been quite swift, and the member of parliament who has been implicated has been granted bail. We'll give you the full details of what happened, including the video. Some of you may have seen it, the video on the Esutifi North Bruhaha. Also tonight, we are still waiting for Moses Fuamweni in the studio, but for some reason, if he's held up, we will continue to give you information about other things until he comes. We have a congratulatory message to Manasseh Azuri relating to the SML investigation, and we'll be doing that on the touch screen as well. And a lawyer, Cephas Boyo, has issued a statement relating to the SML matter, and things are getting more dramatic. We also know that the head of legal at the Ghana Revenue Authority is also being questioned by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. We will be dealing today also with many other important details. The game between Real Madrid in sports, the game between Real Madrid and Liverpool is still ongoing. Liverpool are leading by a goal to nil. So Kanija, our sports reporter, is monitoring the game. As soon as the game is over, he will join us in the studio with the analysis. He gave us some predictions last week, and Liverpool actually beat Aston Villa comfortably by 3-0 at Anfield the other day. And tonight, they've been doing quite well against Real Madrid. We'll be getting that detail as well. So the game is still on. Liverpool are leading by 1-0. It's 15 minutes to go to the end of the game, and some of our reporters have their eyes on that one as well, because sports is always important. Now, earlier today, I was delighted to reunite with my friends in Parliament. We received an invitation last week from the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumano Kingsford Bagbin, and Mr. Bagbin had invited journalists to what he called the Speaker's Media Forum. And there at the Speaker's Media Forum, Mr. Bagbin spoke. He told the media, including myself, about a whole lot of things. He indicated, for instance, that the Parliament, the presence of Parliament, it's appearing to lose its significance. It's no longer fit for purpose. He discussed the issue about the old matter of getting a new chamber, which was dropped, as we called it, drop the chamber. He talked a little bit about it. He also talked about how he is working with the mighty minority and the majority. Present at the meeting at the beginning was Alexander Fenyumarkin, the minority leader. He made a statement, and later on joined by the majority leader, the Honorable Mahama Yariga, who also made a statement. Journalists asked questions of the speaker, and some of the questions were critical. We selected at least one of the questions that we thought was very critical from Kojo Yankson of the Multimedia Group. He asked a poignant question, and we'll be sharing that with you. So at the beginning of this show, let me give you a snapshot of what happened at the Speakers Media Forum earlier today. It started around 4:30 and closed just a few hours ago. It was long and winding, and it was nice. And after that, there was a lot of camaraderie shared between the parliamentary senior staff and the journalists who were present. It was nice to reunite with many old journalists that I had not seen in a very long time. My friends from Radio Gold, Pring Park President was there, Samson Ladi Ayinini was there, Kwesi Pratt Jr. was there. Yawbedu Ayeboaf was also there. I had the pleasure of giving a copy of my book to Kwesi Pratt Jr. He was pleasantly surprised that I'd put the book together, and he was already looking at the pages whilst we were sitting there. I'm waiting for text messages from him for clarification on this and clarification of that. We had a beautiful conversation earlier today. So it's been a very good day for me. I don't know about you. I hope that your day was also good. Just to give you a sneak preview of what happened at the Speakers Forum, here's a 5-minute edited video of some of the different activities that occurred there. Have a look.
Let me warmly welcome all of you to this forum. We termed it Editors Forum. I'm sure not all of you are editors, but you are active leaders in the media landscape. Let me correct an impression. I actually didn't summon you. You were invited, humbly invited, for us to have a conversation. But let me say that I'm so excited to see all of you here. It gives me hope. And so far, I think the response or the feedback we've been getting from Ghanaians is so encouraging for us to do more to serve our nation. I can assure you we'll do our best. There was a perception, and sometimes it's still lingering, that in trying to engage the media, you are trying to co-opt them, to do your bidding. And having that challenge here, even in the House, when I try to engage the press corps, I get a feedback that the speaker is trying to co-opt you so that you won't criticize it. No, it's never been my intention to co-opt the media, and nobody can co-opt the media. Particularly these days that we have citizens media. There's no way you can do that. But the media is a very critical partner of development.
He made a ruling that essentially settled the matter, that members, by his reckoning, members of parliament represent their parties over their constituents. I wonder whether you are of the same view, and in light of that, and in light of all the changes that you have championed to the standing orders, can we hope to see a day when we will actually know how our MPs vote on various issues, rather than the voice acclamation type vote system that we keep seeing? can we start to register and log how our MPs vote on various issues? Is that something we can possibly see happening during your time as Speaker?
Thank you.
That was the conversation with the Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honourable Alban Bagbin. It was a beautiful conversation, I'm sure. It just ended, so we just had time to put in this very little edited version for you. Now, the big story over the last 2 days has been disturbing. It's a very major test for the Galamsey authorities, including the president. An NDC MP has been thought to be directly involved in protecting Galamseyers. Initially, they said 2 NDC MPs, the honourable gentleman here, the honourable MP for Esuti North, he is still very much in the saddle. They also explained that the honourable Collins Dauda, my own good friend, was involved somehow. It looks like that is no longer part of the story, but the story is still really unfolding. What has happened here now, though, is that he has engaged with the police and he has even been to court, which civil society commend. I heard Ken Ashigbe saying that it doesn't matter, they should still declare state of emergency, and that's the only way this problem was going to be solved. But let's watch the video of it's a disturbing video, so please, we need to caution you before you look at it. It's at the time that the people arrested somebody, the Galamsey people, they had some guns, etc., etc. It is about this matter that he has been implicated. Let's see the video first. Yeah, so there is the video. The police are sort of arresting some people and forcing them into a car, something like that. I don't know whether you see it clearly. Yes, it's an unprofessional video. It was filmed unprofessionally. Well, it was filmed by a non-professional cameraman. It's not that it was filmed unprofessionally. Sorry about that. It was filmed by a non-professional cameraman. So yeah, but the situation was feisty. You know, look at the way they are sort of struggling, trying to get the alleged criminals into a vehicle. It's not very simple. A whole lot of people over there, and the allegation is that the member of parliament authorized the release of these men. All of these people involved in Galamsey, that's amazing, eh? It's quite serious. Yeah, the guys were actually attacking the military officers and sort of preventing them from seizing the people who were alleged to have committed the crime. It's very, very serious. I mean, Ghana has become very serious. They had the confidence and the boldness to attack military personnel who were trying to arrest, as it were, their people. They didn't want their people to be arrested. So this is a very serious matter. This is the latest on Galamsey. Look at the numbers of people in there. Now, this is a small community. That's the MP. Is that the MP in my shot? No, sorry, that's not the MP. Look at the number of people in the place, and look at how bold they are. They are not afraid of the guns of the soldiers. It's a very serious matter. Well, the video will start again. Yes. We took the video from TV3, so please excuse those images of the handsome gentleman. Yeah, so we now have to come and look at the press statement. Let's get on with it very quickly. Yeah, all right. Thank you. So we have the press statement here. So the video you saw describes the situation where some people who were thought to be Galamseyers, as it were, committing an offense in illegal mining and mining on water bodies and forest areas. The security go in to arrest them, and the populace in the neighborhood are telling the security that you cannot arrest them. Why are you coming to arrest them? That looks like this scenario. Eventually, it was said that the member of parliament for the area was himself involved in the conversation. So his name is Honorable Ebenezer Kweku Addo. He's a member of parliament for Esuti North constituency. He's a member of the National Democratic Congress, so he's part of the big majority. Now, he has issued a statement that we have to give him the rights of hearing. So we are going to look at the statement. Now, can you go? My touch screen is gone off. Sorry, it's going to come. Yes, here it is. So he says in the statement, press release, to the good people of Esuti North and the general public. He says, I am compelled to address the recent unfortunate incident between some residents of Esuti South and the military task force deployed on the national assignment NIMOS. Chronology. Oh, sorry. My touch screen is okay, it's going to come back here. It's here again. So he says, on the 1st of November 2025, whilst en route to a funeral at Achirinsua in the Esuti South constituency, I inquired from Honorable Collins Dauda, the MP for Esuti South constituency, whether he was available so we could move together. It goes on. He says, Honorable Collins Dauda indicated that he is currently not in the country, so I could represent him. Upon reaching Fidim, I realized there was tension in the town, so I inquired and was told there was a military operation going on at the gold extraction site. I quickly called back Honorable Collins Dauda to inform him of the development. He asked me to go to the site to enable him speak with the team to ascertain what was going on, because one of the assembly members who he sent wasn't spoken to by the military team. We are not sure what he means here, but I think he's saying that Collins Dauda said that he had sent an assemblyman there and perhaps the military team did not engage with him. Let's move on. He writes further, upon reaching the site with my constituency vice chairman and driver, I introduced myself to the leader and asked that he speaks to the person on the phone. Having arrived at the place, I saw some youth at the site, whilst others gradually massed up. The only advice I could give was for us to move to the police station to officially make a statement and subsequently hand over items and suspects to the police to calm tensions. Upon reaching the police station, it was seen that the major road had been blocked, preventing vehicular movement. Together with the military, regional police crime officer, NIB operatives, Kenyasi police commander, we all remained in the police charge office while statements were being taken. I went further to call in the Zongo chief of FDM to assist us in calming the situation, and he came. Having finalized the handing over of the items to the regional crime officer, the Zongo chief volunteered to pick the military officers into his Toyota Sequoia vehicle because the pickup of the military had been tampered with. What does it mean, tampered with? The Zongo chief is driving the military people? What does that mean? Let's go on. The Toyota vehicle of the Zongo chief had its glasses smashed at the back. By then, I had left to attend other funerals in Trotroso, Jedu, and Wamahiso. I wish to state that under no circumstance will I incite the youth against security officers and any government-planned agenda. As a responsible lawmaker, he says, I offered my support to ensure there is calmness in the area and will always work together with every security agency to maintain law and order. It is quite unfortunate that the police in their stripe, I don't know what he wants to write, failed, and we have not edited this. This is exactly from the statement that we saw. This is exactly from his statement as he puts on the parliamentary, as he has distributed on his letterhead as a member of parliament. We have not edited anything. The word he writes is SITREP. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm wondering, didn't he show the statement to that? Is that not there's a guy called counsel to the minority? Is there not a counsel to the majority, or did he not show it to his leader or something like that? There are quite some unfortunate errors in the statements. Maybe next time there should be a way in which members of parliament put out these statements in a very standardized way. The same way they have a standardized letterhead, I think there should be a standardized way in which members of parliament put out these things. You can't have a member of parliament put out this report, go to all media houses, and then you find these. I mean, I'm not sure it's very, very good. And what's the situation report? Oh, okay. So what is the word? It is quite unfortunate that the police in their situation reports failed. Okay. So that's what is supposed to be here. It is quite unfortunate, he says, that the police in their situation reports failed to acknowledge my contribution towards ensuring that calmness prevail. Okay, so I get the point he's making. He's saying that the police obscured the good work that he did. That's what he's trying to say. That the police obscured the good work that he did, and that therefore general public felt that he was doing something wrong. That's really the point he's making. All right. He said the police failed in their situation report to acknowledge my contribution towards ensuring that calmness prevail. I urge the public to disregard the false narrative aimed at tarnishing my reputation and undermining my efforts to serve my constituents. Okay, tell lawyer to get ready to update us on what the circuit court offense and what it is, so that we can understand it in a better way. He says, as your member of parliament, I want to assure you that I remain committed to the welfare and safety of the Ghanaian citizens and states and other state institutions. Ebenezer Kwekuado MP. All right, let's do a content analysis of what he's put out. Okay, so one, he says to us that he was going, as we say in Ghana, he was going to his somewhere. He was going to a funeral. And then a funeral in Vidim. And then when he arrived there, he realized there was tension in the town. So he asked that, he was told that there's a military operation going on at the gold extraction site. So he quickly went to the gold extraction site, but he called Collins Dauda to inform Collins Dauda of the development. Does this suggest that where the thing was happening was in Collins Dauda's constituency? Maybe, because he's Esutifi North, Collins Dauda is Esutifi South, and sometimes the border is just a road. So we can suggest that, I think he's trying to surmise that the thing was happening in Collins Dauda's constituency. He called Collins Dauda, and Collins Dauda said that, I'm not in the country. So, now that was before, he had spoken to Collins Dauda before he saw the event. So he was going to the funeral, and he suspected that Collins will go for the same funeral. That happens all the time. So he called him and said, Wafa Collins, are you there? Can we go together? He says, oh, I'm not in town. No, I'm not in town. I says, okay, then I'm going to the funeral. So when he saw the confusion, he called Collins and said, do you know that there's some problem in your place? And Collins said, oh, yes, I have sent an assemblyman there, but the police didn't talk to him. So go there, and then let me speak to the police on the phone. What have the police done? The police have gone to arrest people. The police are anonymous. They are doing their work. They are arresting people who are digging illegal gold and destroying our water bodies and making the name of President Mahama bad and making the name of NDC bad, because NDC said they will solve the problem in 1 week, and they have not been able to solve the problem in 10 months. And so those who are still doing it are making the name of NDC bad. Okay. So he goes there, and Collins says, let me speak to somebody. And then according to him, they are all in the charge office. The police vehicle has been damaged. So the Zongo chief offers to take them, the police or the military, into his car. A whole convoluted matter. We will be asking the lawyer what he has been charged with and what are the ramifications of the charge. He's currently on bail. But let's show the video again. Let's see it's a short video. Let's have a look at it again so that you can get a sense of really what happened. If you're just joining us, this is Good Evening Ghana. It's live. We're still waiting for lawyer Moses Fuamoni. So if you know him, tell him that we're waiting for him here on Good Evening Ghana. Let's look at the video again. Let's look at the video again. Yes, that's the video. And you can see, I'll be reading the police statement as well, but you can see the military here. They are holding down some people and trying to put them into a vehicle. But there appear to be significant resistance from the crowd. The crowd is resisting. There's resistance from the crowd. There it is. The police, the vehicle has been smashed. You can see it in the video. The back windscreen of the vehicle has been completely smashed. Oh, wow, this is serious, isn't it? This is really, really serious. This Galamsey thing is a big deal. I mean, it's unfortunate that we had politicized it, but look at where we are today. And all of these people, the other day, President Mahama said that they don't have jobs or something like that. And yeah, this is serious. This is quite serious. So there they are in their photographs, and wow. Please, they should get the Galamsey video ready, the one that has myself and Senor Jose talking. They should get that video ready. We can show it. So these are some of the still pictures from the place. Let's get the police statement first, and then, okay. So lawyer is here. Let's get back into the studio and continue with the analysis and the content analysis. Okay. Now, let's look at the police statement. Do you have it?
This is the offenses. These are the offenses he's charged with. So
no, where's the police statement?
The police statement can be opened by Neil Saki.
The police statement. Let's get the police statement and so we can bring viewers up to speed on what we've told you what he said. Let's now tell you what the police also said.
Compare.
So we can look at it.
Okay, if they can pick the video shortly, so that's.
Okay, let's watch the video again one more time. Yeah. So that's the video on your screens, the so-called SUTP North problem. All right, the police statement is here now. We can look at the police statements now. Okay, so let's come to the studio. Let's see the police statement. The IGP directs CID headquarters to take over investigations into attack on NIMOS director and his team at Hwediem. SUTP North MP invited to assist with the investigations. The Inspector General of Police, the IGP, Mr. Christian Tete Yohonu, has directed the Criminal Investigations Department, CID headquarters, to take over investigations into the attack on the Director of Operations of the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, and his team by thugs at the Hwediem in the Ahafo region. The Member of Parliament for SUTP North, Honorable Ebenezer Kwekuado, who is alleged to have incited the mob and obstructed the NIMOS team, has been invited to assist ongoing investigations into the incident. Preliminary investigations has established that on Saturday, 1st November 2025, NIMOS director and his team intercepted illegal miners operating near Bronichrome in the Ahafo region and arrested some suspects. Exhibits retrieved from them include a side hang bag containing 1 Smith & Wesson pistol, 2 pistol magazines, 21 rounds of 9mm ammunition, an unregistered Range Rover vehicle, an unregistered Toyota RAV4 vehicle, and several mobile phones. While the team were preparing to hand over these suspects to the Hwediem police station, the MP reportedly arrived with a group of men and demanded their release. When his demand was refused, the group forcibly removed the suspect's handcuffs and chased the NIMOS team from the scene. A mob numbering about 600, allegedly incited by the MP, later besieged the Hwediem police station, demanding the release of the miners and seized vehicles. The crowd vandalized the director's vehicle, damaged parts of the police station, and threatened to set it ablaze. Reinforcement teams from the Ahafo Regional Command were deployed to restore order and prevent further destruction. Calm was eventually restored through the joint efforts of the police, the military, and the Zongo chief of Hwediem, who helped mediate the situation and facilitate the safe evacuation of the NIMOS team. The chief's vehicle was damaged during the process, but no injuries were reported. The Ghana Police Service strongly condemns the attack and would like to caution against interference with law enforcement operations. A special operation has been launched to identify and arrest perpetrators to face the full rigors of the law. Grace Ansa Akrofi, Deputy Commissioner of Police, is the Director General of Public Affairs. She signed the statement. So there's quite a discord between the police statement and the Honorable Member of Parliament statement. In fact, in his statement, he accuses the police of obscuring his role. What do you make of that?
His role in bringing peace and stability to whatever was happening at the Hwediem, in the town of Hwediem. It would seem that the police also has a different view. After all, there are two sides to every coin. And so the police statement hinges on the fact that he was the one who actually came with persons to demand the release of the individuals who had been arrested.
He says no. He says he only went there so that Collins Dowda could speak to the police people because
the military officers on the site,
because they had ignored the assemblyman. That's what he says. That's what he says.
But I mean, yeah. So it depends. The burden on the police would be to substantiate these allegations beyond reasonable doubt, which is the standard of proof in criminal matters.
What has he been? Has he been charged with something?
Yes. So they've done. If we could go to the section 204 file, I had opened it before this. So there have been provisional charges laid against him. So conspiracy to harm a public officer, conspiracy to, and in fact he's also been given a 150,000 cedi bail, and he's also banned from traveling outside Greater Accra region, save with the approval from police. And this is allowed. The rationale behind that is bail is simply the court or the police telling you that we are going to let you go. Ordinarily, you are supposed to be in our custody, but we are going to let you go subject to you performing these stipulated requirements. In this instance, before he goes out of Accra, he's supposed to seek police permission.
Is it because they don't want him to go back to the constituency to interfere with the investigations?
Not necessarily so, but that's the general practice. And the rationale is that police officers or the police operates in
But he doesn't live in
jurisdictions.
Accra. He only works in Accra. He's a member of parliament for Sutifi South
Well,
or
if-
North.
if-
That's his abode. He's in Accra to attend parliament. If parliament goes off, he goes back there.
Yeah, but if he has a place of residence in Accra and it can be substantiated or it can be shown, demonstrated that he spent a reasonable amount of time in Accra, then the police in Accra may also assume for the purpose of, and moreover, this is the CID. IGP Christian Tete Yohunu directed the CID headquarters to commence investigation. So I think this docket has been given to them for the purpose of commencing investigation or investigating this issue.
Okay, let's come
So
to
they
the
do
charges. What
national.
are they looking at?
Conspiracy to assault a public officer, actual assault on a public officer, conspiracy to cause unlawful damage, causing unlawful damage and rioting with weapons. And so these are offences that if
He's
proven-
being charged with himself routing with weapons.
Yes.
But
But as I
the
said-
story doesn't say anything about he routing.
Right, exactly. As I said, these are provisional charges. I really am not in the shoes of the prosecutor, so I cannot tell.
Okay.
But these are provisional charges, and it also hinges on what eyewitnesses may have told the
Okay,
police provisionally.
okay.
Because once you put someone before the courts, the person must be put before the courts for a reason. You must tell the courts that we are bringing this person here on suspicion of murder. You may not have charged him yet, but I say on suspicion of murder.
In this case, has he been charged?
He's been charged provisionally.
There's something called provisional charge.
Yes. So
Different from real charge.
well, it's also
What
a
is the
charge.
role of provisional charge in the
It's
criminal
also a
procedure?
charge, but
Yeah.
the reason they do that is most likely investigations have not concluded yet.
Mm-hmm.
Ordinarily, investigations are supposed to conclude. A report is supposed to be produced. The docket is supposed to be forwarded from the police to whether it's the Attorney General, Iyoko, or the prosecutor dealing with the matter, and then prosecution commences. But in certain instances, more particularly so when what the matter may be of interest, and when really we do not really have to go and fish. It's not that we're going to find whether or not it's not a murder case that someone ran away. We are going to take fingerprints and then test and see. These are issues where on the surface, maybe they were able to procure eyewitness testimony, they were able to procure the opinions of persons on ground. And so based on that, they have a reasonable cause to believe that indeed these charges can succeed. And so they would do this. However, you have to remember that the standard of proof is beyond reasonable doubt. So you cannot just charge the person and then progress. They would have to go back and do their homework well, so that as the trial is, the matter is progressing, they will be able to show the courts that indeed, beyond reasonable doubt, the accused person.
So he has
is
showed
guilty.
up in court, from what you're telling
For,
us.
yes, that is so. He showed up. He went to the police.
Why is the
headquarters.
court in Accra?
The court is in Accra.
Yeah, but the place where the offense occurred is.
Yes, so for purposes.
Does it not raise jurisdictional issues?
No, for purposes. So these things happen several times. For purposes of expedience, the dockets they may write and request for the dockets to be transferred. It can be for safety reasons. It can be so. For instance, the trial concerning the murder of the Iana ordinarily should have taken place.
Yeah, okay, I remember that. It was in Accra.
But it was in Accra.
Yeah,
at that time, court complex had not been built, so it was at the
I remember that.
Supreme Court's
Yes,
that place.
yes,
Exactly.
yes.
But the offense didn't really happen here. So those things for administrative purposes, if you suspect you cannot assure the safety, maybe somebody may be there who doesn't like what he did, would come after him, or so
All right,
just
all
to
right.
play it safe. It's better.
So
these things
the
happen.
jurisdictional issues have not been offended. It's part of the procedure.
It's part of the
administrative
processes.
Okay.
And so as it stands now, this is what he's being charged under. These are the offences. So Section 205 of Act 29 provides that anybody who assaults a public officer, more particularly so in the process of performing their lawful duties, commits a misdemeanor, which is maximum of 3 years in prison. And so if it's found guilty, he will be convicted on that charge. The other offence includes Section 172(1)(a) of Act 29, which talks about causing unlawful damage. For this, causing unlawful damage is a bit tricky because the gravity of the offence hinges or relies on the extent of the damage caused. So, for instance, if the damage caused exceeds 1 million Ghana cedis or has no pecuniary value, the offence is classified as does not exceed 1 million cedis or has no pecuniary. When we say has no pecuniary value, it is has no value. It has no value. It's not something you can purchase with money.
Okay.
Exactly. The offense is classified as a misdemeanor. If it exceeds 1 million, it is considered a second-degree felony. And if it is caused in a way that is likely to endanger life, it becomes a first-degree felony. So it will mean that, as of now, the police would have to go back to the drawing board and then assess the damage that was caused to see where they can fix. So generally, to be called causing damage, reason it is preliminarily, or these charges, and then they would go back, do their homework, and then see where they can fix. It's maybe
what
more
is
than
the
1
state of
million.
affairs? The people who were arrested, where are they now? Do you know?
For that, there have been no notice of it as to whether indeed when they were set free, they were rearrested. But it would seem that the story immediately that, in fact, what happened was the military, they were on their way moving from one town, they had nothing to do with, they didn't really go specifically to apprehend those people. It was when they were in transit that they saw persons engaging in Galamsey. And now, as you know, people engage in Galamsey by highways, in the hinterlands. So it was upon seeing that I'm sure they got angry, got down from their vehicles and apprehended them. And so it became a back and forth. So I'm sure some calls were made. And that was why when the MP called Honorable Collins Dowda, he mentioned that, he had already even sent somebody there whom the military refused to speak to. Yeah. And so subsequent, the MP claims or says that they came with the military officers and those that were apprehended to the Hwidiem police station. And it is at the Hwidiem police station that the specific acts occurred. So the police is alleging that he incited the crowd. He is alleging that he came there to more or less try and water down Tempest, because after all, he's an MP. An MP is a leader.
But why is it that when Galamseyers are arrested, they are calling an MP? Is there a relationship? What's the point?
Or maybe the Galamseyer has a friend who is an MP. It doesn't mean the MP is implicated.
I get that, but why is the MP always the first person they call?
Oh, that's the MP. The MP is there for the people. He exists for the people. He's voted for the people. And see, the thing is, the MP is the first point of call because he's the one who comes to campaign. He's the one who comes to the funerals. He's the one who comes to the wedding. So he's the point of power that is easily accessible.
But did the MP tell them to go and do Galamsey?
I don't think so. He seems like a decent man. I don't think he told them to do Galamsey. But they are in trouble anyway. It's like when you cross a red light and the police catch you and then you start calling. I remember one time I was sleeping at 1 a.m. I received a call. My friend has crossed red light at Burma Camp. I didn't send you to cross red light. But these things, you are in trouble. It's human. I don't think
I think there's going to be political football played heavily with this one. But anyway, so what should we expect next?
So next will be the investigation. His plea has not been taken yet, though. So they would continue investigation. He would come back to court, and then now the court would read the charges to him. They would tell him that you, so and so, on this day, in so and so, within the jurisdiction of this court, did conspire to cause damage, contrary to section whatever. He will say not guilty, most likely. I don't think he will say he's guilty.
Yeah. So the trial will proceed.
If everything proceeds and it gets to its logical conclusion, and the court finds him guilty of the offense for a misdemeanor 3 years. This I cannot, causing unlawful damage, I cannot tell yet because we are yet to see the extent of the damage.
But if he's found guilty, what happens to his seat in Parliament?
So, the Constitution in Article 94 provides for certain qualifications for an individual to be an MP. Now, if you read 97 gives the grounds on which an individual may lose his seat. And the 97 says that you may lose your seat if you fail to qualify under 94. Now, under 94, it also says that an individual who has been convicted for an offense which punishment exceeds 10 years, that's one, or an individual who has been engaged in any offense that affects or directly affects the security of the state. So now this is where...
So it's not just a simple conviction?
A conviction, yes.
It's not a simple conviction of, say, 6 months? That doesn't take you out of Parliament.
Take you out. So it says, but the caveat here is because this concerns an attack on the military, this in another jurisdiction would have been very serious because this more or less, these are national security operatives. This is the military. That it is alleged that he indeed, conspired.
I'm just saying that you could have gone, as a member of Parliament, you can fall foul of the law of something that takes you into jail for 3 months.
For 3 months, 6 months.
And you still keep your seat.
Yes. However, we
that
also
means
have to look
you
at
go serve the term and come back?
We have to look at the specific offense because offenses that concern, convictions that concern offenses that involve dishonesty and things, you would still, in any case, lose your seat. So it's not a hard and fast rule.
Okay.
That's why I was saying that. In addition to that, we can also look at.
So those who are
security.
talking about a by-election, etc., it's a long shot away.
It's a long shot at this
But
stage.
can this kind of trial at circuit court, can it complete before the next election?
Oh yes, trials can get complete within 1 year, 2 years. It depends on.
But he will have the right.
several
He will have
factors.
the right to appeal the circuit court, so appeal to the High Court of Appeal.
This is a criminal matter, so he can appeal from circuit to high because the procedures.
Yes, and then from high he can continue.
Court of Appeal and leave. But as I said, showing that he conspired
It's going to be difficult.
is the problem. Because if indeed.
But is conspiracy the main charge?
No, yes,
Section 205 about conspiracy.
It is hinged on the conspiracy, that is the planning to actually go and set them free, and then actually inciting the people to go. All those things are things you have to prove. So it's not just about the unlawful damage. The damage may have been caused by someone else.
Okay.
He may not have taken a stick to break glass or to destroy things at the police station, but it is showing that he was the mind behind it. That is where the problem
But it
comes.
also shows, I mean, outside the legal conversation, it also shows that this Galamsey thing appears to be popular
Oh, but yes, but that's the problem.
among so many people.
That's the problem.
And they don't care whether they are damaging your food several thousands of miles away,
No, it's not that they
whether they are
don't,
damaging your water, they don't care.
it's not that they don't care per se, but
Their livelihood is more
effects-
important.
Yes, and the effect of it has not been really made apparent. There's something called shock therapy, right? So if someone is gaining weight at a certain rate, you show the person that this is what is going to happen to you in 6 months if you don't lose the weight. It's shock therapy. They may not have had the potential, they may not have had the opportunity to see people with kidney failure, people who are just like them, who live in their hometown with kidney failures. They've not had the opportunity to maybe see children born with, extra limbs, because those things are specific to families. You went to get pregnant. I am the Galamsey. I haven't seen your child. So there are several things that go on. And I learned.
But that means NIMOS is going to have a real difficult task
Yeah, more particularly so
if they
when
are not getting support from the local community.
Yes, and really, I don't think we should really be harsh on on President Mahama. Yes, I mean for political purposes, yes, but it really goes deeper than that, because it is. I even learned.
You are saying that President Mahama can come and go and Galamsey will still
be there.
Yeah.
And that was why I would that maybe we could have a national center. We could procure drones, fully automated, high command. It's the military high command that has control over the drones. You can get 100. They fly around the country. They look at designated zones where mining is not supposed to take place. They see mining there, and then they destroy whatever. The drones just shoot down, because
That's probably the only way. So
Yeah.
you're doing Galamsey, the drone will kill you.
because Senya, the way things are going, because at the end of the day, people are making.
That's interesting. Let's
some
see
are
what people
saying
are
some people make 2,000 cedis a week. I am in the village, even in Accra. If I'm making 2,000 cedis a week, and
That's
you
8,000.
governments are going to say I should stop, I won't stop. I'm not saying it's good, but
Get ready the video that we did on Galamsey. But let's hear what people are saying. This is a very interesting story. It's 19 minutes past our 10 o'clock. So who should I talk to first? Fatty, what are people saying about the story?
All right, thank you, Paul. A lot of people are interested in this conversation. So, Afoya Boa says, on behalf of Ghanaians, we send our apologies to Nana and Bawumia governments for voting against the NPP government. Isaac also Boaten also says, how coincidence when an MP going to a funeral and calling another MP that we should go to a funeral and the MP was not in Ghana? Did he call him on WhatsApp or the MP was roaming? First call was to ask him to go to the funeral together. Second call is to inform him of an issue happening in Hudim. Then Collins directing him to go and give the phone to a military. The whole story looks somehow. God help us. Yafebri says the Honourable Member of Parliament for Abitifi North attempt to intervene in the release of the arrested illegal miners motivated the illegal miners and the youth at the mob at the police station to attack NIMOS. As MP, if he saw the activities of the illegal miners was against the law, he would have led the NIMOS to reduce the tension and attack the mob. There is a DCE in that district, so if Honorable Collins Dauda needed someone to assist for the collaborating with the NIMOS to calm down the tension after the arrest of the illegal miners, he was the immediate person to contact, not the MP who was attending the funeral. Nana also says what the NDC MP is trying to portray to the good people of Ghana is a Juana's story. People have just kept quiet for these galamseyers campaigns to pull a wool over our eyes. What has happened to the state of emergency? Is this part of the 1332 24-hour economy policy then? Benedanza says it is now conspicuously clear that the Galamsey campaigns are now in power. John Mahama is the chief enabler of Galamsey, and Collins Dauda is a king's pin. Lastly, coming from Isaac Ozi says, I have searched online this evening and I have not cited any video or images about the MP going to CID or even to court. Considering the bill amount for this MP is very surprising, and that's too small for a case like this. What do you have for us?
All right, so the sentiments are the same across board. This one is from someone who says, if these alleged members of parliament were to be members of the NPP, the AGM Minister for Justice would have called a press conference before calling for an arrest. Interesting. Compared to how they handled Chairman Wontumi, the political witch hunt is conspicuously clear. The silent invites for these Galamsey alleged culprits depicts the judicial biases. Equal justice must be served for all and sundry. Gastiman says truth must be told. These two MPs clearly know the activity of the Galamseyers around the environment. It is clear from Erasmus's narratives that they requested for the release of the criminals. Honorable Collins seems untouchable in the NDC, and among some journalists, that is why they don't want to talk about him. His brother is alleged to be one of the criminals arrested. Why should an MP approach a military officer to teach them how they should do their work? Shame to the NDC and President Mahama. Kensley says, good evening, Paul. Ebenezer is a serious liar and Collins is the problem. The president's failure to declare a state of emergency on Galamsey means Omane Boama and the rest just died a foolish death, period. Because even if they had succeeded with the program, Galamsey wouldn't have stopped. Lord have mercy. Jones says, from the look of things, His Excellency and his appointees have lost the fight against Galamsey. It's sad that the very issues that helped bring them into power are the same things that would take them out of power. Mohammed says, the whole story emanating from the MP is an afterthought. Simple. Lastly, from Nanaya, he says, NDC and Galamsey are twins. This is what happens if you do politics with a national menace like Galamsey. The reality is catching up to them. God save us all. Back to you, Paul.
Yeah. So somebody sends me a text that the MP was called because the so-called owner of the concession is his financier. I don't know whether that's true. Prince from London also corrects me on the video. He says that you got it wrong on the video, bro. This video shows the police trying to protect the military officers and aiding them into the vehicle instead. Thank you very much. We'll see the video again. Prince corrects that what we saw in the video is the police It says the military officers are trying to help the police officers who were under pressure to put them in the vehicle and take them away from the mob. I think that's correct. He says, I also don't think the MP said in a statement the police was obscuring the situation, but rather the police failed in their statement to acknowledge. No, I said the police were obscuring his efforts. That's what he said. That's what I was suggesting. That he seems to be saying that the police are obscuring his efforts. Yes, and I've also been told that SITRAP it's a short form of situation report. So it's not that he got something wrong in the statement. SITREP, a situation report. Professor Kwame Sebe writes that to me. Thank you very much, Prof. I've seen your screenshots to me about the Stanbic case. We'll get to it one of these days, Prof. It's going to happen. Okay, many people are very interested in this conversation. Tonight we have another big conversation. Donald Trump, the American president, is saying that he's going into Nigeria. Alassane Bello has been looking at the security situation in Nigeria, where it's alleged that Christians are being killed by Muslims all over in Nigeria, and they are preventing the worship of the Christian God. We'll look at that in some detail. Okay, let's look at the Galamsey video again, just to remind ourselves. Maybe it's a shock therapy, so that we know what this Galamsey is really about. Ooh, look at this one. What's the other one? So this is what Prince in London is telling us. These are the military people, and they were actually in this video trying to help the police. They are getting the police who were being attacked by the mob into their vehicle, the military's vehicle, so the police will not be killed by the mob, who were very angry that the police was disturbing their Galamsey activity. Yeah. The police are protecting the military. Oh, okay, it's the other way around. It's the police protecting the military, rather. Okay. So the vehicle is a military vehicle. Yeah, but I'll take the Galamsey video first here. Okay. Civilians there are helping the police or they're helping the military. It's very difficult to tell. Yeah, this is very interesting. Say video for the shock therapy, and then we'll go to Al-Hassan Bello on the touch screen.
Gold is the one holding Ghana now. And because of Galamsey Intina, we were 80 tons per year. After year, 135 tons. Additional, be brave free Galamsey. So we must be prepared to sacrifice in the fight against Galamsey. Say production will come down. It means that exports will reduce. And then also the issue of employment. Because employment in the Enankodani Bebre, Galamsey. Into Okutia Galamsey, a lot of the young people who currently are surviving with Galamsey would also get unemployed. And those are two consequences.
If we don't fight for the Ghana that we want, we will not get the Ghana that we need. So if His Excellency the President, and I know him a bit, he's a good, nice man. Whatever is holding him, I don't know. John Mama is a good, fine man. His brain is on point. His children are sweet people. I can't understand that he would think of other people's children to drink this water. I don't think the First Lady in her sanity would ever sit down and approve of any of this when one of the people she loves the most has died. Why should the Minister of Lands be raving and ranting as if he's the only one on the street? Where are the people who said 1 week? Sam George, my brother, Iboyo. Okujato, where are you? We have to call you out. My own brother, Roxy Dafiamo Paul, you cannot change your mouth. Please, it's not about your party. It is about Ghana. There should be something we should stand for.
Sam George said the president can solve this in 1 week. By doing what? Declaring a state of emergency. And that's true. If any president were to declare a state of emergency, nobody goes there. So that's true. That will solve the problem. There's no question about that. That is true. And if you say these things and you come to government and say that, well, we are in government, as you just said, that the stability of the water is getting worse under your government, worse than when you said we should declare a state of emergency. At a certain stability level, you said declare a state of emergency. Stability level becomes worse. You now have the power. And you tell us that you don't want to declare a state of emergency, and we should listen to all this beautiful English being spoken by a lawyer, that we have done this, we have done you and this and that. All that is okay. It's a political question. The acting Chief Justice told the Bar Conference this week that the Galamsey has become worse under President Mahama. Felix Kwachio Fosu, the government communication minister, says he needs evidence of that. He needs evidence of the fact that the situation has become worse. He said nobody has provided the evidence. He doesn't have the evidence. Kolebu Teaching Hospital is reporting things. He doesn't have the evidence. The stability of the water from Ghana Water Company, he doesn't have the evidence. These are the matters that is making the politics unbelievable. So this is the situation confronting the NDC. It is true that the state of emergency could stop Galamsey. It is true. The NDC were right in opposition, and those saying today are also right. Now, this is the situation. NDC was in opposition, says that the thing is at 20%. You need to declare state of emergency, Mr. President. NDC comes to office at 60%, and they say, oh no, a state of emergency, it will come later.
Galamsey, yes, own the politics. Council of State, Mr. President knows, everybody knows the kind of people who are there, that you find the people in there. The executive, they are there. Parliament, they are there. The only place where they are, in fact, even the media, some of them own the media. Yeah. Where's our hope? If Mr. President will not do it, it's okay. I'm tired. I've suffered under every government. You guys can come and punish me. It's okay. Somebody should die for something. Omani, my brother, he died for something. But his own people cannot even make what he died for even count. They are thinking that they've raised 3 point something million or 6 something million using government donations and all that blah 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 to use that to mask and say, I'm taking care of your family. That's the small thinking that you people have. Nothing, small thinking. You think you give people money and that is it. It's not just what he wants. He wants you to transform this country. That's why Omani would have been a fine president. Please, we should stand for something. If you're an NDC man and this is happening, talk to your people, stand out. You should have honor. You can't be an MP with reasonability, with mandate, with allegiance to the Constitution of Ghana. And you see this and keep quiet and come and have the audacity to come and maybe discuss the fact that the president never used the word state of emergency. Nonsense. Do you have a heart? Do you have a heart? Do you have a conscience?
It's a very, very serious situation. It's a very serious situation. Alhassan Bello looks like it's getting hot in Nigeria. There are many, many discussions going on and many permutations about what could be the backstory of an American president for the first time since the end of the Second World War, deciding that he's going into an African country. Is not about insisting on democracy. It's not about against corruption. They've done that in Panama. America has invaded many, many places, that in Iraq and all that, twice in Iraq in 1991, the first Gulf War, again in Iraq, the second Gulf War, to take out Saddam Hussein. And the argument was that Saddam Hussein is a tyrant and he has weapons of mass destruction. This is the first time that's a religious war, which what we knew about in the ancient history of 100 years ago, is purportedly being prepared by the Pentagon against Nigeria, that Donald Trump says that Nigeria's government is allowing or looking on while Christians are being killed, and that is going in. And this comes after a rumors of coup d'etat in Nigeria to remove Bola Tinubu. The coup is apparently foiled. Aso Rock does not say that there's a coup. They sort of deny it. They say they are just making changes. 1 week later, they say they've arrested people who were doing the coup, which we'll discuss now. It's becoming a very major issue. But what worries me is the silence from everyone. The European Union is silent about it. The United Nations is silent about it. ECOWAS is silent about it. The African Union is silent about it. What is the latest?
Well, some observers are not surprised. Trump is a populist. He only go where he thinks he can make noise and he benefit from the chaos. But beyond that, how come a PV and a sponsor of genocide in one part of the world tend to fight against?
Who is sponsoring genocide?
He's children Netanyahu, declared wanted by ICC.
Oh no, you can't say that. It's very sensitive. You can't say that.
No, but the fact is
no, you can't say that. You're an analyst. You can't say that. You can't say that.
But it has been declared a genocide.
The United Nations has declared a genocide. But the perpetrator of the genocide is Israel.
All credible international organizations have declared a genocide.
Yeah, but Israel is the perpetrator.
The dispute of the genocide has been resolved. It's a genocide.
Yes, but the perpetrator.
The perpetrator is Israel.
Yes, you can say that, but you can't say it's America.
No, I'm saying that he sponsors, he shows Israel. Even when Israel went to attack Iran, he had to go and rescue
but you
Israel.
still can't say that because the UN didn't say that.
But the question is, if US arms Israel, even when it has been declared genocide, it is hypocritical for you to now come in the name of protecting or preventing genocide in another part of the world. That was the first one I was established. Secondly, the MAGA fraternity itself is driven by the concept of evangelical Christianity.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
Christian Zionism.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it if you look at it in the name of, if indeed that is the teaching of Christ. But if you look at now trying to politicize Christianity, what's the difference between you?
No, hold on. MAGA have a philosophy. You can't question that. You can decide not to belong to it. You can't question that.
Okay.
Yes. So leave that aside.
No, but the question is, if you politicize Christianity,
are they politicizing Christianity?
If you pursue your diplomacy, international relations, on the premise of religion, what's the difference between you and somebody promoting
Because the United Nations holds up the freedom of religion, the freedom and the rights of people to practice religion. In America, Muslims practice Islam. Nobody touches.
So the first question,
MAGA is in America, but in America, Muslims practice Islam.
But the question,
Hindus practice Hinduism.
I'm laying a point.
Yeah.
Then the second question would be simple. So if a Muslim decides to promote Islamism without necessarily resorting to violence, is that wrong?
But they do it in America. Islamism is promoted in America.
Because when we go further, you see that because some part of Nigeria have implemented Sharia law, there's a call for sanction. So if you...
No, the Trump talk about that. Sharia law has been implemented in Nigeria for a while.
There's a call for sanction by US among its own fraternity. So I said,
over the establishment of Sharia law.
Sharia law. So, and even if you go further, there's a the whole thing is all about Trump's ego, Trump's demand for obedience, Trump's bullish tactics.
Okay, but are the facts untrue?
Obviously.
Oh, I have seen videos of people saying that it's true. People in Nigeria, there are videos. I can show you some. There are videos of people in Nigeria, a pastor who had buried people and was complaining that every weekend he's burying people and they are killing Christians.
The nuances of
the
nuances of this must be understood. The fact that the header is a Muslim and the farmer is a Christian does not mean they are fighting over religion. They are fighting over water and land.
Yes, that's
so
possible.
Second question, so the IPOP, the Biafran guys attacking people in the East, are they Muslims killing Christians? They are Christians killing Christians.
So the point you're making is that Christians may be dying, but the foundation of the conflict is not religion.
The entire country...
Is that what you're saying? That the foundation of the conflict is not religion?
It's not religious. The entire country...
How do you establish that?
So we'll go further, you see.
All right.
But the question now is, even within his own administration, and the same Trump accused South Africa of genocide when South Africa started to go after its land, you know, after the, what do you call it, apartheid. There was the issue of land, unresolved land.
That has been on the cards for a long time.
He accused South Africa because not an attempt to go after the land. So for him, it's foreign policy. Anytime you decide to go...
But when he accused South Africa, he showed the South African president a video of Julius Malema, who was talking about they will kill white people. That video is there. He showed it to the South African president.
But have they killed?
No. What I'm saying is when you're analyzing, you have to devoid the facts from the opinion. You can put any connotation to the video. You can say that Malema was just making political talk and Trump is exaggerating it. But the fact is that Malema did say that he's going to kill white people.
Malema said, is Malema in the government? No. But ANC is in government. So if you're accusing ANC of pursuing a policy of opposition leader, does it make sense?
No, he was telling the ANC that you are not checking things like this.
He threatened sanction because ANC has now accepted a law that allows you to go after the land. You know, initially there was this willing buyer.
But is he not entitled to do so?
That is interference. Should we also invade?
Well, yeah, you can also invade America if you want.
Should we also accuse America of...
Yeah, you can accuse America of everything you want. America is not part of the ICC even though they set it up. So he's entitled to accuse anybody.
Look at this
you can't say he's not entitled to.
No. There's a limit. We have, you see, in international relations, we have sovereign equality.
Yes.
So your remarks.
So there's a dispute resolution platform, isn't there?
So
there is a dispute resolution platform. So you can then report the United States to the United Nations dispute resolution platform that the United Nations is breaching international protocol 657. That's how it's done.
The first concept is to prevent the breach.
How do you prevent it?
That is, respect my sovereignty, I respect yours.
So if it is breached, the reason why they set up the resolution platform so that they know that there could be breaches. So if it is breached, you then report them to the international platform. America went to the second Iraq war without UN endorsement, but they got the endorsement of a country like Senegal, for instance. So it's an international diplomatic platform.
The whole resolution and procedure is meant to prevent resort to force in case of the violation.
Fair enough. But I'm saying America went in without the United Nations under Kofi Annan said we are not involved in this war. America went to the war. Unilaterally, but secured the support of some countries, including the African country Senegal.
But even with that, it has become the most discredited war in history.
You don't get my point. I'm saying that when you're analyzing as an analyst, you drop the facts and separate it from opinion.
And the fact is that South Africa has not committed genocide against the whites.
No, you cannot say that. It is the International Criminals Court that can say that.
But has it tendered evidence?
No, you don't seem to get my point. I'm saying that you and me cannot say somebody has done or somebody has not done. But we can apply to the court and let the court make that pronouncement. Unless you are saying it in your living room. But if you're saying it on television, you can't say that.
If the facts are obvious, we can debate the fact on the table.
No, you may debate, but you can't make a forceful conclusion if you are not the court on a public platform.
No, but the outcome is so after the rhetoric. What has been the outcome from his own perspective?
All that is irrelevant. I'm saying you can't make that value
but let's
judgment.
go further. But even within his own government.
So no, on Nigeria, you're saying that on Nigeria, it may be true that Christians are dying, but you're saying the foundation for the conflict is not religion. I think that's a point, a fair point.
That there is death.
We can take that.
It is true that there is death
of Christians
of both sides. Muslim
and both sides?
Muslim and Christians.
Is there a conflict between Muslim and Christians?
No, but the conflict affects everybody, be it a Buddhist and atheist.
What is the source of the conflict?
It's complex. It has ethnic undertones.
Ethnic means north and south?
not in South. For example, in the, what do you call it?
Fulani Hausa?
No, Fulani and the Fulani farmer and the Fulani and the most minority ethnic groups within the Middle Belt, they are farmers, right? And also in the northeast, is about, what do you call it? Boko Haram and religious sentiment. In the southeast, in the southeast, the Igbo land is about secessionist movement, the Biafra. But
so you're saying Nigeria is riddled with conflict?
With conflict.
For how long now?
I think for the past 2 decades.
Okay.
Since the early 2000s going. So we need to look at the conflict step by step to understand. But even after Trump's remark, his own advisor on, what do you call it, senior advisor on Arab and African affairs came to debunk the claim of a genocide in Nigeria. We even know that Boko Haram and ISIS are killing more Muslims than Christians. People are suffering from all sorts of background. This is not specifically targeting about one group or another. So, and this is not the first time Trump has made a statement.
But this appears to have come before Trump speaking. This is mid-October.
You see,
we're talking about since Trump spoke about Nigeria.
No, I'm saying that
this mid-October is earlier than Trump speaking.
But see,
about
this is not the first time. No, but the whole idea of this is the peak of the issue. It started a little Cruz.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, this is not the first time Trump has issued a statement. And after realizing that threatening remarks, after realizing that perhaps it's undiplomatic, then an advisor will have to come and clear, for lack of a better word, the mess. But then let's look at Nigeria's remarks, because after the statement, Tinubu and the presidency issued a statement. Since 2020, our administration has maintained an open and active engagement with Christians and Muslim leaders alike, and continue to address security challenges which affect citizens across faith and regions. The characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect our national reality, nor does it take into consideration the consistent and sincere effort. It goes down. Nigeria is a country with constitutional guarantees to protect citizens of all faiths, which is fundamentally so within the constitution itself. We can look at how well has it achieved, but then right after that, another I think a leading U.S. official also issued a statement that was now construed to mean the whole idea behind Trump's remark itself. If you are indeed going to fight Boko Haram, which is in the northeast, you are talking about today Boko Haram and other jihadist groups in Nigeria, and to stop their massacre of Christians and threat against moderate Muslims, I advise the Trump administration to establish an emergency base in Port Harcourt, which is the oil capital of Nigeria, which is in the south-south. Look at the disparity between where the purported attack is taking place and where the base is to be settled. All of a sudden, people are, this could be about resources. And then this
okay, so hold on. You're saying that America is suggesting that the base from where they will fight this battle is going to be Port Harcourt.
This is a suggestion from one of the U.S. officials.
Okay.
That the base should be in Port Harcourt. And Port Harcourt.
Does America have a base in Nigeria?
No,
they don't.
No.
So the suggestion is that America is trying to create a base for itself.
America is trying to have a foothold in order to tap into Nigeria's resources. You know, with the invasion of Iraq, Libya, and other, there was this argument that America's occupation or military intervention is being followed by resource theft. This also comes to re-echo that sentiment. But then the first question is, why would you establish, if indeed you are fighting Boko Haram, why would you establish a base in a place that has no Boko Haram presence?
Well, military bases do not have to be established in where the trouble is. You establish a base which is safer, where you can organize, you can reorganize, you can keep your food supplies, you can keep your lines,
then Abuja
and then you can then launch into the place where the battle is. So military bases are never established in the heat of the war. For instance, in Ghana, during the Kokumbana number fight, the military base was in Kumasi, which is very far from the war. General Smith, who led the battalion over there, was in Ashanti region, 2nd Brigade, and the war was in Anumba and Kokumba. So military bases do not, as you get into the trouble zone, and you're able to secure a place, and then you establish a base. That's the whole point about the reconnaissance units of the armed forces. So they go in and try and secure a place so that the rest can come.
But comparing Kumasi to Accra,
no, this also was in the north.
Yeah, but comparing Kumasi to Accra, Kumasi is still more closer to the heat than itself.
Yes, so, but also because the general commanding who was chosen was a commander in the brigade in Kumasi.
There are so many places that are closer.
No, but you choose the safest place. It doesn't have to be closer.
Then,
you just choose the safest place.
That statement was made, all of a sudden then the whole issue came up. So a post, isn't it a little such that all the countries Trump wants to go into
war
are
oil rich, yeah.
Iran, Venezuela, now Nigeria.
Okay.
And then another, what do you call it?
Is it pasta?
Yeah, from Nigeria.
Says
Nigeria is Africa's biggest nation, and America knows this. Nigeria aligning with BRICS was a major source of concern to America. Like that, it is not enough. Nigeria bluntly refused to come. Dumping of deportees. Yeah, there was an issue with this. Nigeria clearly refused to accept the deportees from almighty America and called America's bluff on its tariff without panicking or sending delegation to plead with Trump.
Okay.
The American propaganda is clear. Incite religious tension, destabilize Nigeria from within, and then wait so we can come to beg for America's assistance. It is a bullish playbook, nothing new. We need never to...
I think that's interesting. So he's making the point that Nigeria was not one of those countries who went to beg on their
No,
tariff.
Nigeria didn't beg.
Unlike, say, Ghana.
Yeah.
Nigeria also did not accept the deportees, unlike Ghana.
Yeah.
So that he's saying that America is angry with Nigeria. Yeah. And this is how they want to show it.
So in that, there've been different perspective and how the people perceive it. But then one interesting is for the first time, so far, okay? Back to when I was telling you that if indeed it is right for everybody to champion, use religion to promote its politics, then what is wrong in some part of northern Nigeria having their Sharia law?
Yeah, okay.
But then there's a bill in America threatening to impose sanction on them because they enforce Sharia law. The Nigeria Religious Freedom Accountability Act of 2025.
It's being prepared in the Congress.
Yeah, in the Congress. Led by Ted Cruz.
The Nigerian Religious Freedom Accountability Act 2025.
Led by
sponsored by Senator Ted Cruz.
Yeah, and he was the first person to raise the issue of Christian persecution. But the question now is, if it's okay for you to champion your Christian evangelism, what is wrong with somebody promoting his own Islamist ideology in absence of violence?
Okay, so are we very close to an invasion? Is that what
I don't think so. Nigeria
Who's making that determination?
Nigeria is too complex for anybody to want to think of invading. But the question is, if he thinks per his remark where he said it to be sweet, I think he said the whole invasion will be sweet and easy.
And he said all guns blazing.
Then we should ask him, was Afghanistan sweet?
He said it to be sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the question was Afghanistan sweet and easy?
He didn't invade Afghanistan.
But he was the one who walked out because he saw the result.
Yeah, but he didn't invade.
He was a quagmire and he saw that there was...
Who invaded Afghanistan? Was it not Barack Obama?
It was Bush.
Yeah,
and
Bush,
Obama did the troop surge.
Yeah.
And then what do you call it? From Obama's time, it was obvious that America was not winning the war. There was a stalemate.
Yeah, but if Obama did a troop surge, and Obama is a Democrat, and George Bush, who went in, was Republican, then it would seem like an American foreign policy.
That's
not partisan.
I'm only saying,
and therefore, you can't attribute it to
any
president.
No, the question is, if indeed America had that efficiency of going there sweet, in respect of the president, Afghanistan was not sweet. It was bitter and distasteful.
Well, but they may cite Libya and they may cite other places.
So now the question is, and looking at the size of Nigeria and the whole nature of Nigeria, it's a different ball game on its own. And then what do you call it? Then it also had a rallying effect, rally around the flag effect. So the politicians and respect their political position, despite their differences, came out to what you call defend the country. So this is Shehu Sani, is a former senator, right? I want you to record me among those who completely rejected and condemned any act of Mr. Trump's foreign military aggression against my country. Under any guise or excuse, my country is not and will never be a disgraced country.
So there's no link between this American talk and the failed coup.
No. There's no link, and there's not been any link. Neither has it been raised as an issue from the American side.
No, if America will not raise that.
Not the Nigerian side.
Yeah.
And then one of those who are, being blamed for enforcing Sharia law in Nigeria is actually Rabi Musa Kwankwaso.
The former presidential candidate.
Yeah, and also the former governor, two-term governor of Kano State. He also came to issues on same. I've noted with increasing concern, heightened pronouncement on Nigeria by President Trump. It followed the designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. I want to emphasize my country is a sovereign nation whose people face different threats from outlaws across the country. But then the question now is, and then this is a governor from the East, which is a Christian-dominated part of the country. He also came to state emphatically, Christian killing Christian in Southeast. So, and that's a fact. The IPOB is mostly a Christian-dominated group. And
I'm worried because all of this mimic very much the period leading to the invasion by Barack Obama of Libya. Colonel Gaddafi, who was at that time on one leg, was making these posts that we are a sovereign country, he will not be able to come to our country. We had all of that.
In the Libyan
it also mimics Saddam Hussein and his, I've forgotten his spokesperson's name, very popular guy. The kinds of things they were saying when the threats started coming from George Bush. And eventually one day we woke up and the BBC was broadcasting attack on...
No, the context differ.
on Libya.
In the Libya situation, there was already a civil war, an ongoing civil war.
In Iraq, it wasn't. Iraq was a
No,
stable country.
Iraq
Saddam Hussein was in full control.
I'm talking about in Libya, for example, there was an ongoing civil war, and the state has lost control of certain portion of its territory.
Yeah, that's correct.
In the case of Nigeria, yes,
but in the case of Iraq, Saddam Hussein was in absolute control. He had his government was in place. Threats had started coming. Then he responded this way, and one day we saw the invasion. It destroyed Iraq. It wasn't a good invasion. It didn't look like it's been good for the world. It doesn't look like it's been good for the region, but it did happen.
So now let's look at these two maps and get to understand the frivolity of Mr. Trump's statement. So this is a map that gives a religious division of Nigeria. So at this side are places that you must have 75 to 94% Muslims.
If northern, across the north.
Yeah, some part, not the whole part of some part of the north.
All right.
And then,
no, 2/3 of the north from your map. 2/3 of the north.
No, this is the north. This whole place is the north.
Okay, so the north, 2/3 of the north.
So this is the northwest.
Yeah, and this is the northeast.
Yeah,
so all of the northwest, and a significant
portion of the northeast. Yeah.
It's just was it Borno?
Borno, Gombe, Adamawa, Taraba, Kaduna.
What was the religion here?
So we begin to look at the demography.
Okay.
So at the place you have the deep green is where you have 75 to 95% Muslims. At the portion you have these
the light green.
This one, yeah.
Yeah, gray.
50 to 74 mean there's a substantial Christian minority in these pockets.
Okay, all right.
Right? And then around this part too, here, a place where you have 75 to 83% Christians. And then around this part, where you have 45 to 74% Christians. So you begin to see that beyond the fact they say Muslim, not Christian South, the demography is not, what do you call it, linear.
Oh, it's not as simple as that.
As simple as that.
Okay.
There are always pockets of...
Are there Muslims down south? Can I see some of them?
Yeah, so in the southwest there are Muslims.
In Lagos?
Yeah, so Oyo, Oshun, Ekiti, Ogun, Ondo.
There are Muslims there?
Yeah. And especially in Oyo, despite being a what do you call
it? But Bola Tinubu himself is Lagos, but he's Muslim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So Lagos has a substantial Christian population.
Okay.
And Lagos, I think, yeah. But the question of the student is, even in this part, Oyo has a Muslim majority to a certain extent. Plurality rather. But it's southwest Nigeria. So it's not about this whole...
Let me ask you something before you come to this map. They talk about the other group of people who are under these religious threats, and they call them moderate Muslims. Who are they?
Well, that is another Western, what do you call it?
Classification.
Classification.
It's not real.
Islam.
There's nothing like moderate Muslim.
We don't have like extremist Islam. In Islam, there's no like extremist, there's no like moderate.
Is moderate not those who don't subscribe to Sharia law?
Every Muslim is supposed to subscribe to Sharia law.
Supposed to, but do they? Is every...
No, but the question is, can you cherry pick what portion of the Bible you want to do?
Okay, so you don't accept the classification
it's just a new
of moderate Muslim.
What we know is that some people might be conservative in their interpretation. Some might be
radical.
No, more liberal in their interpretation.
Okay.
And some might also be textualist. They may try to look at it literally. So we have that within Islam itself. We have some kind of issues where there are no consensus. Where opinions differ among the scholars. But we don't believe in the notion of moderate. These are all jargons from academic or Western.
Fair enough. Let's come to this map.
So let's look at this map now. Having established that even here, the South, with Christian majority, which is here, right? He's suffering from violence. But the question is, what type of violence?
The Biafra.
The Biafra violence. And
secessionist.
Yeah. And the Biafra violence is a Christian on Christian-led violence. So where does he put the argument of Trump that Christians have been massacred? Flat.
The Biafra one is well known from the 1970s Biafra war, from the Ojugu contest with Gowon. It's always been known that Biafra had wanted to succeed from Nigeria because the Igbos have felt that they are being undermined one way or the other. They also believe that the coup of 1966 was targeted at them one way or the other. And so because of the lingering of the incomplete Biafra war, where the Nigerian military, indeed led by Obasanjo at that time, he was a colonel, crushed the resistance of Ojugu. And I talk like that because Ghana was a big part of that conversation. The Abri Accord was signed here in Ghana under General Akufo and General Champon to bring peace to Nigeria. So the Biafra war is a lingering conversation. For instance, if you come to Ghanaian politics, until recently, the secession of the NLM was a lingering conversation. So that is what will lead people to talk about Biafra and will not consider that as a religious war, but they know straight away that there's a foundations in Biafra, isn't it?
Yeah, but there have been serious crime and atrocity committed by this group because they declared this.
Yes, it's always been.
They declared this Monday sit at home, that nobody should go to work.
Because Biafra wants to succeed.
And then everybody who comes out on Monday
should be killed.
And they kill. They kill. They run rampage.
I see.
And these are
when was the last time that happened in Nigeria?
Oh, I think so far this year we haven't heard much, but so far.
You mean as recent as last year that was happening?
Yeah.
2024?
Obviously. And even any part of this year. So the question now is, but is it, that's why the governor, Soludo, that's why he said, Christian killing Christians in the southeast.
Okay.
And then look at another issue. These are so it conforms to the Igbo special distribution.
Yeah.
And if you look at around where we are talking about, this is also a place with huge Christian population. Then let's look at the situation in the northern region. What do you call it? And here, okay, is a place where Boko Haram is also very active.
Yeah.
But even within this part, there are what? Some Christian minorities.
Okay, so let's try and wrap up. So there's no peace in Nigeria.
There's no peace in Nigeria. There's violence.
But it doesn't warrant an international invasion by the United States.
At this part is a secessionist revolt. At this part is an Islamist insurgency. In the middle belt is, pastoralist farmer clashes. And it's basically over land, pasture, and water resource. At the northwest is about banditry, kidnapping. And the south and west, we have issues of ritual. So there are killings, and Nigeria is actually bleeding. And irrespective of your faith, everybody is bleeding. So the issue is that if Trump is really interested in helping Nigeria, as he wants us to believe, or as it has been said, then why not work with the government in place? Look at what they lack in terms of military.
He's blaming the government. That's his first point of blame.
And that is why we say for Trump, he's moved more by whims than his wits. His policies has displayed that. He's just, and the reason why the EU might be quiet is that with the issues around Ukraine and the fact that they feel threatened by Russia, and then Trump is holding on the brick one way or the other in terms of making sure Europe carries the weight of defending Ukraine. So they have that issue, so nobody wants to be on his wrong side.
But how come those who support the invasion of Russia against Ukraine are worried that America is going to attack Nigeria? The same thing.
Those who support
Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
So it's about geopolitics, so everybody has to look at where his interest lies.
So it's a conversation is about international politics and interest, isn't it?
And interest.
So you cannot really blame Trump, because there are those who support Russia to invade Ukraine.
But international law is against, undermine the sovereignty of countries.
But international law is against Russia in the
and
fight against Ukraine.
That is why if you want to condemn Russia, which is condemnable in Ukraine, right? We should also condemn America for when it goes excess overboard. But the same people who are shielding America for its, own lack of accountability, want to hold others to account. Which is the problem here. For example,
that's the platform of international politics.
For example,
his might is right.
For example,
that's how it's been. The Second World War was about might is right.
And that's
the First World War was about might is right.
And that is why if you look at Trump's policy,
the Falkland Islands and conflict with Britain is about might is right.
That is imperialism, yeah. But the question is, why did we decide to have international law? Because we've seen the adverse consequence of some of these actions. And so long as we've all agreed to be in a committee of nations, that there will be certain laws that will guide our activities, then definitely we must either strengthen the law and live with it, or we undermine the law and be on our own.
You are not concerned that ECOWAS is quiet?
Yeah, we are getting there. So there are those who still argue about it. So let's talk about the issue of lithium, tantalite, and how it is very precious to
the rare earth issues.
The EVs, electric vehicles.
Okay.
So that might also be another concern.
And Nigeria has a lot of that?
A lot of lithium, yeah.
Okay.
Even across West Africa, there's an issue of rediscovery.
Yeah.
And then there's another perspective that's also being thrown out there. There are also think that the issue of Nigeria trying to win itself of oil import might also be contributing to this.
Oh yeah, the so-called statements of Aliko Dangote. Yeah.
So Dangote is giving the West a serious headache. They never saw it coming. And then, but as a response, the same Dangote refinery buys crude from US. Yeah. But then in the short term, Dangote refinery is buying crude from US. because NNPC is unable to meet Dangote refinery demands on the ground that it has existing contracts with some of these multinationals.
With the multinationals, so they can't give it to Dangote.
To a certain extent, in the volume that he required to feed the refinery.
Yeah.
So definitely, if that...
import crude from all the way in America to refine in Nigeria and send back to Europe or somewhere.
And export back to... He recently exported.
But he can't find crude in Ghana.
Well, I don't know why.
Or perhaps we're also in the same situation. We have pledged the crude elsewhere.
So now, if that be the case, then it stands to be said that after the expiration of some of those contracts, then the refinery might eventually have access. And that also creates, because Nigeria is a very substantial importer of what you call it, petrochemicals.
Yes.
And there's that economic argument. So it's being seen from both economic, religious, and then now by the international law, sovereign equality, first article of the UN, based on the sovereign equality of all member states. All members, in order to ensure all of them the right and benefits resulting from, shall fulfill good faith obligation, whatever.
Okay.
So
I get that. Let's be wrapping up. So
peaceful means.
What is going to happen in the next few
weeks? But
there's
a protocol in ECOWAS that looks more like a collective defense to a certain extent. And that is a protocol related to mutual assistance in defense.
Yeah, that's there. So that ECOWAS comes together to fight. I think that's what was applied in Liberia. The Liberian
within that
to remove
that context,
to go into the war and stop Charles Taylor from overrunning Monrovia, which Charles Taylor was very angry with. Charles Taylor has always been angry with ECOWAS because he knew that he had won the war. ECOWAS got Yomi Johnson out of the NPFL and used him to just step in at the last minute. Eventually, it was said that Babangida, the Nigerian leader, had business interest in Monrovia and he wanted to protect it from Charles Taylor's invasion. Babangida railroaded Flight Lieutenant Rawlings into it and got that kind of situation. So international politics and international maneuvering is really about interest.
Obviously.
So what do we foresee happening?
So I think...
I'm really worried that Trump may carry out his threats.
Of course, we should be worried because Nigeria is a very huge country, both in size and population.
And if that happens, Ghana is going to bear the brunt of it.
There's this, I don't know, is this symbiotic relation between Ghana and Nigeria that even...
Because we're the English speaking, and we have tribes across.
It even predates colonial rule.
Yeah, it will, because the Gans are in Nigeria, the Gans are here. The Hausa is there, Hausa is here. There's Fulani there, there's Fulani here.
The Hausa traders used to be in Salaga, in the cola trade.
Absolutely.
But
there's a Lagos town in Accra.
So now the issue is that any instability in Nigeria
is going to hurt Ghana.
Will be on the first
major.
But interestingly, the question is now, how do we define this protocol? Should it be an expansive one?
I think Ghana's foreign ministry should enter into real deep negotiations with the American authorities.
Yeah, so Ghana can offer some mediation.
It's very important that the president and the foreign ministry of Ghana should begin that now.
But if you look at Tinubu's statement, it also opens door for what you call dialogue, because he was not hostile and what do you call it, should I say...
But if all the suspicions on President Trump's ambition in Nigeria is to be taken serious, negotiations with Tinubu might not work.
But Radosu also said that Tinubu is perhaps been given a dose of his own bitter pills.
Why?
That during Jonathan's administration, when in opposition, he also made a statement that could have been interpreted in the guise of what Trump is saying.
During the Boko Haram period?
Yeah, when Jonathan was in office and he was with the APC.
The opposition.
This is one of the posts he did at the time.
He said the slaughtering of Christian worshippers is strongly condemnable.
2014.
The slaughtering of Christian worshippers is strongly condemnable. It calls to question the competence of Jonathan to protect Nigerians.
But the underlying issue here is the slaughtering of Christians.
But Tinubu was Muslim. He's always been Muslim.
So I'm saying that, so there are those who feel like if you're able to use that in opposition.
But that also means that the slaughtering of Christians in Nigeria has been a topic on the front burner since 2014. This was a very important politician in 2014, an opposition leader speaking. And if as way back as 2014, long before Trump became president of the United States in 2016, 17, and this is what was said in 2014, then perhaps this is a feather in the Trump of in the cup of Trump that Nigeria has been complaining by itself of the slaughtering of Christians since 2014 by Bola Tinubu.
At the time some of these statements were being made by members of APC in opposition, there were opinion leaders, traditional leaders, and religious authorities that were calling the politicians to caution that we have killings across board. So we should be they should be careful on how they send their messages in order not.
Has Tinubu been invited to comment on this post he made in 2014?
Well, Nigerians are now drawing the link between what is happening to him now as more like a form of a poetic justice. That if you could say this in opposition You have been given the dose of your bitter pill, perhaps now at a different level.
Let's leave it so that.
But the Nigerians, in their own usual way of making fun of everything,
yes,
someone decided to say, well, for him, big man, live long talk. Are you landing with first platoon or second platoon? If you deploy to Abuja, I will send you my exit. Help me bomb their family house. So for him, it's just more.
That's an interesting one. He wants his ex-girlfriend
so
family house bomb,
so
that they will send them the address. Okay. Thank you, Bello. Let's get some text messages on this one. When we come back, Kanija will join us. He has to eat up his words. He said Liverpool were not going nowhere. At the weekend, Liverpool beat Aston Villa 3-0 and today they've given a good account of that. So did they win the game? Yes, they beat the almighty Real Madrid 1-0 at Anfield. We'll be right back. Who am I talking to? Fatty first, yeah?
All right. This is from Nanaya Okumi, and he says the crux of the matter is that your citizens are dying, whether Christian or Muslim. What is your Tinubu government doing about those killings? Ibi Ofe says Bello will rewatch his analysis and agree how skewed and biased he is on this matter. What is being perpetrated against Christian or Islamists is absolutely wrong and should be condemned even if he is a Muslim. Very disappointing. Asante John says Bello is obviously prejudiced and biased against Christianity and Trump, and he can't even pretend to hide it. Domenia says, for the first time, I disagree with your analysis, Bello, and I'm very disappointed. Nanasari also says, military bases are not established at the place the action is taking place. Come on, America doesn't need to establish a military base to get resources. African leaders gives it willingly. Gastiman says, your historian must tell us about the facts instead of opinions. Personal bias can twist historical events to fit a narrative, leading to misinformation and misunderstanding of what actually happened. Dashtinkon says the Nigerian Muslim community needs serious education on religious tolerance. And lastly, coming from Nasari, says the Sanusi he loves as a young man was part of the fundamentalists who beheaded an Igbo guy for desecrating the Holy Quran. Guess what? It turned out to be a falsehood. What do you think?
All right, so there are lots of people in the comments saying that Bello is a terrorist, and that is simply not true. That's not a fair analysis to have in today. Yeah, so this comes from someone. He says Boko Haram has gone mute since Trump's trip. That is power. No one deserves to be killed for what or who they worship. Boko Haram should learn from Hamas before they get dismantled. Nana Yao says your people are dying and you are justifying and claiming that these killings are across board. What is preventing your government from acting to protect its citizens? Francis says, for the first time, I totally disagree with Bello. He is being economic with the truth. And lastly, from Yao, he says, when Christian-dominated citizens in a particular country wanted the state to be declared a Christian state and start attacking Muslims, will Muslims in that country feel safe, like what we are hearing from Nigeria? Muslims in Nigeria, having the notion of declaring Nigeria as an Islamic state, should know that democracy is what they are practicing, and that allows every citizen to associate him or herself to any religion of choice. Back to you, Paul.
All right, let's get back onto the touch screen, and we have Kanija for the last 5 minutes of the show. Liverpool got it done against Real Madrid.
Yes. And this is massive. Very huge for them. They are the team to stop Real Madrid from scoring throughout the entire season. So
Real Madrid have scored in every game.
They've scored in every game. 11 matches in the Spanish La Liga. Then 3 matches, prior to this game, 3 matches in the UEFA Champions League. Apart from PSG beating them 4-0 in the FIFA Club World Cup, Liverpool is the only team to stop Real Madrid from scoring today. Yeah.
1-0.
1-0.
I saw a bit of the game. The first 15 minutes was all Liverpool.
Exactly.
They prevented Real Madrid from actually crossing the center line.
Yeah. I mean, I think they got a lot of motivation from their last game against Aston Villa. They came into this game gun blazing. Madrid had already scored 8 goals in their last 3 matches in the UEFA Champions League. So it shows clearly that they were the free scoring team in the Champions League.
When I saw the lineup, I didn't understand what the Xabi Alonso was doing. He had 2 top of Mbappe and Jude Bellingham.
Yes.
That was very confusing. I thought Jude Bellingham is an offensive midfielder.
Yeah,
what was he doing at the top of the top?
So I think it was for tactical reasons. One wanted to confuse the
midfielders of Real Madrid,
of
Liverpool, sorry, knowing the fact that the combination between Alexis McAllister and then Ryan Gravenberch, you need to put that sort of load. If indeed you want to expose the defense of Liverpool, you need to, put the burden on them by creating a lot of, workload around this.
But taking Jude Bellingham away from the middle was going to give Liverpool a full day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Liverpool was going to cover every grass in the middle.
So I think he took a clue from the maximum games or the consecutive games that Liverpool has been losing. Yes, so he easily underrated the midfielders of Liverpool. Because the last time I was here, I told you that if you clearly check the games, the consecutive games Liverpool has struggled to win, it shows clearly that there is a problem with their midfield. And I told you that the unavailability of Mark Gravenberch has taken some sort of bite from their team. So he coming back for the Aston Villa game, to some extent, stabilized the team. He brought a lot of stability, and also there was a lot of organization in the midfield. So that is the more reason why in the last 7 or 8 matches, the Aston Villa game was the only game that Liverpool didn't concede. And now they've gone 2 consecutive matches without conceding. So it's a plus to the Liverpool team. So this is how Arne Slot set up his team against Aston Villa over the weekend. And you remember, the last time I told you, the fact that Liverpool bought Milos Kekic from AFC Bournemouth doesn't mean he has to start, because I made mention of benching Andy Robertson. That it doesn't make a lot of sense, because this is a player that gives you a lot. He's not, that player that has that attacking instinct. Even though when it comes to defense, he will give you everything that you need from a left fullback. Likewise, Trent Alexander-Arnold that left to Real Madrid. Now this kind of position, Arne Slot has used 3 different players.
Including
Frimpong. So there has been Frimpong, Conor Bradley, then occasionally Dominic Szoboszlai has also been here before.
At the right back?
Yes.
I've not seen Szoboszlai
play. No, he has played. I think Chelsea against
Liverpool.
Chelsea against Liverpool. Yes, either Chelsea against Liverpool or Chelsea against Manchester United. Dominic Szoboszlai was playing as the right back.
Yeah, but Chelsea against Manchester United doesn't have Liverpool. You mean either against Chelsea or against Manchester United?
Yes. Either against Chelsea or Manchester. One of those games.
He played on the right back.
He played at the right back.
Okay.
So it means that tactically he's finding it very difficult to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold. Then again, Andy Robertson. I do think that attacking wise and then defending wise, he gives you a lot as compared to
Robertson was in the Aston Villa lineup.
Yes, he played. So
and you are thinking that's the difference that was made.
Okay, so this is the same lineup. Of course, the last 5 matches prior to the Aston Villa game, Liverpool had gone 5 consecutive games, conceding 11. This is mind-blowing. It's simply unacceptable on the part of Liverpool. So in the game against Aston Villa, this is how
he lined up.
So you have Andy Robertson here, then Conor Bradley. Ryan Gravenberch came back from injury to partner Alexis McAllister. And no wonder the 2 goals that was scored by Liverpool, Ryan Gravenberch was on the scoring sheet.
So McAllister scored today.
Yes, he
got
today.
A goal today.
Exactly. Yeah. He scored today. So you now understand what I told you the last time, that the partnership between Ryan Gravenberch and then Alexis McAllister gives some sort of comfort to Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahim Konate.
And that returned at the Aston Villa game.
Exactly.
And it was present today.
Exactly.
Okay, so that we move fast. One more point.
So this is the Madrid setup. So the only change that came as compared to the team that he used for the Aston Villa game was the coming in of Florian Wirtz to replace Cody Gakpo. So he maintained virtually the same lineup.
Let's talk about Madrid. Why was Jude Bellingham playing top of the attack?
Okay,
did it turn out to be negative?
Yes, it turns out to be negative because the coach thought that he has that attacking instinct. And to some extent, they want to create that workload on the defense of Liverpool, force them to commit errors so that they can punish them. We all know that, the key attribute of Kylian Mbappe is his athleticism. He loved to run with the ball. He's one of the archetypal players that has that instinctive eye for goals. So goal scoring is never a problem. You just have to create the opportunity and give him the supplies. He will score. So he used Jude Bellingham as a decoy to Kylian Mbappe.
That's what he was doing.
Exactly.
So Bellingham
And it
was to be thrown
backfired.
in the midfield sometimes.
Exactly.
And then on top of the attack sometimes.
Yes.
It didn't quite work.
No, it backfired.
Did
It
Real
backfired.
Madrid create real chances?
On few occasions, but I think on the day, Liverpool showed a lot of character and resilience in the game.
That takes us to the Etihad on Saturday. Liverpool, Manchester City. Manchester City in good form. They beat Bournemouth, second on the table. And they were in good form. They played so well. Okay, let me leave that for Thursday. Thursday, I'll bring you back in to talk about that. Okay. Viewers, I think that we'll take a last set of text messages and we'll leave it here. Thank you very much, Kanija. It's always a pleasure. Give us one text message each and then let's wrap it up for today's show.
All right, so this one is from Diggy Ward. He says, Paul, today you're not discussing Legon Presec and the fact that they have been sacked from the NSMQ. It used to be a very topical issue on the show. Why are you quiet this time around?
All right, so lastly, coming from Nana Blasio, says he's finding it difficult to admit there are religious reasons to, I believe he's talking about Bello. Now back to you, Paul.
It's a 11:15. It's been a very long day, tall day, I should say. Thanks for watching, viewers. It's always a pleasure. I'll be back on Thursday. Good night.